What is up? 4:43 p.m. on a Tuesday afternoon, just before the heat of rush hour. I was heading home here from kind of the East Tampa area down in the Channel District. I was heading back home, and as you know, I live over by the airport, and I wanted to just kind of see what was going on here in the apps, and it turns out there's a $15 Lyft streak zone, so I decided to kind of pull off here off of Howard and Armenia. And just position myself here since it's going to start in about 15 minutes. We're going to go ahead and see what type of offers we can get. Hopefully we get a ride right away to start that quest. An extra $15 is an extra $5 a ride. So we'll see how that goes here. I only plan on driving for maybe an hour and a half, and then I'm going to go back home because I'm starving. Welcome to all the new subscribers, up to 61 subscribers, 167 hours of watch time. Welcome. If you do enjoy this content, be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to leave a comment down below. And just so you can kind of get an idea of where I'm at here and the traffic situation here, I am, like I said, I'm off of Howard, Armenia in this kind of residential parking lot, right? This is like, I don't know, it's just some free parking lot over here. A couple cars parked. And we're going to go ahead and just kind of wait here on Lyft. I'm in a $2 streak zone, which is cool, or surge zone, I should say, but we are waiting another 15 minutes for that streak to go into effect. And Uber here, you can see there's definitely some surge popping up. Look at that. Let's go ahead. We're not going to take any Uber rides, but let's see what they offer, because I don't have enough time to complete a ride right now and then start the quest. So we'll see. Lately, and I didn't drive over the weekend, but lately Uber has just been god-awful. I don't know who they think they are over there. I've watched some other videos. It just seems like they've just dialed it back on Uber. Like you see here, I'm sitting in a surge zone, but I don't know how much extra they plan on paying. They're definitely manipulating surges. Here's one here, 22.58. What is that, like 15 miles or so? I mean, it's more than $1 a mile. $1 a mile is my absolute bare minimum. Don't get it twisted. My rides that I take, I want them to be $2, $3, $4 a mile. But what I'm saying is I'm not taking anything less than $1 a mile. And I think everyone out there who's watching, desperate for money or not, you need to make that your absolute baseline. You know what I mean? If you are planning on heading home, or, I don't know, you want to drive out in St. Pete, whatever it is, you know, depending on your region, don't accept any rides for less than $1 a mile. Keep it $1 a mile plus. And then obviously if you're in a surge zone, or if you have the opportunity to get a streak zone here, like on Lyft here for today, you know, take advantage of it, okay? Because if you're just driving basic Uber X and regular Lyft, you're going to need something extra in order to make enough for the day. Otherwise, you're just going to be putting around town, making $3 and $4 a ride. It is not ideal. So we'll keep an eye on things here. We've got another 13, 14 minutes till that quest starts. And then basically my game plan is going to be to get a ride as soon as possible, as close to, 5 o'clock as absolute possible. Once we get that first ride, we can kind of chill. You know what I mean? It doesn't necessarily have to be 3 rides in that specific zone. You just have to accept that first ride in the zone. This is actually a really good ride here. $7.59 for, what is that, 3 miles? That's a good ride. That's more than $1 a mile. I would definitely take that if I wasn't kind of just chilling here waiting for this quest to start. Wasn't anticipating Uber flaring up like this. I don't know what's going on, but if you look here at Lyft, they don't have any streaks anywhere except for today. I mean, look at this. Every day, Friday, Saturday. I showed you all this last week. There were streaks all through the week, and the only streak of the entire map here is today for $15. So I don't know why today particularly, but yeah, someone snatched that one up. I don't blame them. Go ahead and take a look here at the opportunities for Uber. We got the Rays and the Rangers down in St. Pete. That game, I believe, is going on right now. So that timestamp there is when the game is essentially wrapping up and people are going to be looking to leave the area. See, reservation at 6:30. The reservations are terrible. They used to be pretty good, but they're just bad now. I mean, like, $18 for 22 miles like you just saw, or like sometimes it's even worse. Sometimes it's like 25 miles for, like $14. Like, I don't know who's taking them, but somebody is. Like, maybe because they send out those reservations to everybody. Maybe somebody is closer to that pickup than I am, making that ride much less mile-wise, perhaps. I don't know. But oftentimes, especially with me living close to the airport, most of those reservations are going towards the airport. You know what I mean? It's best if you live kind of on the outskirts, up here somewhere, I don't know, and then you could take them into the airport early morning, and then you could kind of work your day around it. But you can see here for Uber, even though I'm sitting, right in the middle of the surge zone, I've only had a couple requests, and I think they were both through Trip Radar. So not too much going on, right? We have another 10 minutes, and then we will kick on Lyft here and see what we can get going. You can see here Lyft is also surging pretty strong. I would suspect a lot of the drivers are probably down here in St. Pete. This is where that stadium is for the Rays. It's down here. And that should be letting out in the next hour or two. People tend to leave the game early also. If the game is set to wrap up at, let's say, 7 p.m., by like 6, people are starting to leave. They're looking to go to the bar. They're looking for a ride home, whatever. And then, obviously moving in towards rush hour, it can definitely complicate things here a bit. Another Trip Radar here, about 3.5 miles for close to $11. Not bad. I don't know why these are all showing up in Trip Radar and not necessarily being sent to me. Might play in part my acceptance rate. I don't know, but like I mentioned earlier, I've noticed that if I decline a couple rides, it's kicking me out. It's kicking me off Uber and Lyft especially. I was noticing that the last time I drove, even one ride, it's throwing me offline. So I don't know if, again, these apps are just starting to get impatient with us, but you have to keep an eye on that, because if you're, it's off in the distance, your, phone's on the holder and you're not necessarily paying really close attention, and a couple rides come in that you don't take and you're driving, it's now gone ahead and flipped you offline. You're not going to get any more requests. So it's really important that you're keeping an eye. Make sure it says that you're online. And then obviously when we go online here in just a few minutes, you'll see that there for Lyft. But we need to take, again, that first ride as quick as possible. And that will leave open the chance of us kind of doubling up on that streak. $15.03, going close to 10 miles there. Going up to Rocky Oaks Court. That is not close. That's way out. All right, UberX, $8.41, going a little over 5 miles to East Tampa. No, thank you. All right, 5 o'clock on the dot. You can see there. Let's go ahead and go online. It says the early makings of something pretty good here. I'm sitting on a 425 surge, and you can see here, this ride has a stop. Let's pass on that one. You can still pass on the first one. Once you take the first one, you have to take the subsequent rides. 1206 going all the way down to Davis Island during rush hour. No, thank you. I'm looking for something kind of close here. That last one I would have taken, or excuse me, that first one, if there was no stop. But let's go ahead. You can see here, this is the box here that we have to stay in for that first ride. But I should be able to get something here. This is a pretty concentrated area. Quick ride. I can even do the wait and save, and that'll kick off the streak. So we'll just keep an eye here on the map. Let's go ahead. I mean, I guess we could leave Uber on just to see. They kind of, that surge area dried out. Didn't take too long. Now we just got gray clouds here. Still a little bit of surge there by the amphitheater. But really, the focus here is Lyft. Getting a ride as soon as possible without a stop. That's kind of staying within this immediate area. I don't want to go completely out of my way here. It's not worth $15 having to, spend an hour driving back home here tonight. I'm only about maybe 10 or 15 minutes from where I live. So again, just trying to stay in this immediate area. I don't think that should be much of a problem. All right, we're going to go ahead and take this one. $8.01. Going about 3 miles, and you see ride 1 of 3 in streak. Let's go ahead. Hopefully it gives it to me. Perfect. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to navigate right, there to right. Vintage Lofts at West End. Let's go ahead and cut off Uber. And And then once we pick
Take
this
a slight
person up,
right,
we
then
just
turn
got to do
right.
2 more rides. It doesn't even have to be in the box anymore. Let's hope they don't cancel or do any type of BS that would prevent us from getting this ride. All right, we're over here waiting for Sophia. Just got here. You can see, I've noticed with the Lyft location, it's kind of hit or miss. The Uber location services is definitely better. But I'm right here at the pickup location. And you can see I'm going down here to the Hyde Park Village. So should be a pretty easy ride. Hopefully I get another 2 rides here within the next maybe half hour or so. There she is, be right there. Okay. Because if I get that 4th ride within this block of time between 5 and 6, it'll restart and give me another set of streaks. That's really what I'm after. So pound out this ride here, get 2 more, and then get that 4th ride before 6 o'clock. If it's possible, then I can make effectively an extra $30 in streaks on top of everything that I'm making. She's walking up now. All right, just dropped off Sophia at the Hyde Park Village. Wasn't a bad ride there. And you can see we are in a surge zone once again. This is a pretty busy area over here. So see if we can hopefully get another ride here quickly. Let's take a look at the map. Kind of showing you where we are. I would like to get something either south or west of here. I definitely don't want to go to downtown Tampa if I can help it. And you know how these apps work, you know, if I put a destination filter on, I'm not going to get any rides. I've done that before. And they'll probably kind of load me up on some garbage here to get that surge. But, you know, we're ready for it. It's not going to make or break my night here. But like I said, I was heading back home from kind of some business stuff, and I at least got to try to make some money, you know, on the side. As I've mentioned, and if you haven't caught some of my other videos, I would suggest doing that. I'll go ahead and link the most recent one up in the top right corner of the screen there. But yeah, I do this part-time, and you know, lately, you know, if I have driven, I just haven't really been making any money. And I think that's consistent with pretty much everybody that's trying to keep their miles down on their car. And I mean, I guess if you're driving like a Tesla rental or something like that, and I'm going to make another video on kind of my idea why the Florida market has become so oversaturated. This right here, this is going to F my streak up because I'm not going to St. Petersburg right now. Let's see, I'm making a turn here with a lot of pedestrians, trying not to crash. Well, let's see. Are they going to break my streak for that? No, I don't think they did. See, it says complete your streak. I think the app knows that if it's offering you some ridiculously long ride, I think it'll kind of sort of be fair to you. I don't know what the parameters are of that. But sometimes they'll load up some ride that's, you know, 40 miles away. And I've kept my streaks before doing that. But yeah, I'm going to make another video on what my belief is as to why the Florida markets have become just so oversaturated. I'm just going through comments, and, you know, I've driven in almost every market here in the great state of Florida within the last year or two. And it's just nosediving. And you got to wonder why, because there's just so many more people that are moving here. There's so many more ride requests. You know, why are they're just being so, you know, oversaturated? Like, why do I have to work? Or I mean, I use the term work pretty loosely here. But why do I have to stay online for so long just to get a couple decent ride requests? What exactly is causing that? My belief is it's coming in 2 parts. And I mentioned one of them just a moment ago, these rentals. You know, when you have a percentage of your drivers, and this is the game plan from the get-go, you know, whether it be through Hertz or Avis or whatever, and you have maybe 5, 10, maybe 15% of your drivers, maybe more, who are signed up for these rentals, you know, they are effectively having to work and take anything at all possible just to pay that rental bill. Okay, which makes sense. I get it. But the whole mileage thing is not necessarily something that they're focused on. Why is that? Because it's not their car to begin with. You see, when you're doing this now with your own car, you know, myself personally, I don't want to put 300 or 400 miles a day on my car. I don't want to do that, so it reels me back. It makes me more selective with my rides that I take. And obviously that plays a part in how much money you make, especially if things are slow. You're only getting a handful of requests per hour. I get it. So, again, I'm going to make a video on kind of my perspective on that, especially some of the drivers that I've spoken with, and kind of what their feelings are. It's nothing against doing that. If your goal is to rent a car, whether it be a Tesla or a Corolla, it doesn't matter, and drive for Uber full time, then hey, go ahead and do it. But just understand that dynamic has not been something that has really played much of a part in years prior. This is kind of a new thing, and it's all by design, you know what I mean? So we're going to go ahead. It is 5:19. Yes, I did decline that ride all the way out to St. Petersburg in rush hour when that game is about to end. So that would have been, I didn't look at the mileage, I didn't look at the time, but I guarantee it would be probably an hour or so just to get to St. Pete. And then, of course, coming back, it's not worth that $15 bonus, even to keep that thing intact for now. Not for me, not in my situation. I've been out all day today. But let's see if we can get something here. I'm going to go ahead and kick on Uber. We're not going to take any Uber rides, but let's just see what type of garbage they're sending out. Let's see here where we're at. Do we have any surge? Light surge. Currently driving here down to Swan. I'm going to park myself over here. Probably off of McDill Avenue. Again, I want to try to go south. I like to kind of hang out down in South Tampa. It would be perfect if I can get a ride kind of buried down there where it says Port Tampa. That would be an ideal situation. But time's a ticking here. Time's a ticking. It is 5:20. We got to try to get at least another ride here locally because we want that third and then ultimately that fourth ride coming along before 6 p.m. All right, I've gone ahead and pulled myself off. I am sitting in a Walgreens parking lot here off of Henderson Boulevard, and we haven't had a single request come in since that St. Pete ride. So yeah, we're just kind of waiting here. You can see there I'm sitting on a $2 surge that I had gotten when I was driving back over there in Hyde Park. So I've yet to get another request. When that does come in, we're going to try to take it. If we don't, we're likely going to lose the bonus and the streak, especially if it's a local ride. But we're going to do our best to take it. All right, just to give you an idea here, I've gone ahead and pulled up the driver app for Uber. There's me right there. You could clearly see, but there are cars everywhere. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is probably maybe a 2-mile radius, I would say, maybe 3 at best. So any ride that comes through, most of those people probably have the Lyft app on now already. You can see here we've got some surge up at the airport. We talked a little bit about this in my last video. So you can see there are only 16 to 20 UberX cars. So that means that the roads are pretty heavily stacked, The other night and even last night I had peeked at it. There was like 110 cars on the lot at close to 10 p.m. Well, it goes to show Monday night there isn't much going on the roads. Anybody that's looking to make a few extra dollars is taking those airport runs. I may make a video just kind of showing you what's in the queue there from the airport. But a lot of the rides are going up here, like Land O'Lakes and Dade City and stuff like that. Rightfully so. People who are traveling back into the area, especially if they've been out of town for a long time, they don't want to necessarily pay those hefty parking fees at the airport. So they get a ride in, and depending on when the flight lands, they have to Uber or Lyft back home. The only problem is, if I take a ride out here, even if it's paying 30, 40, 50 bucks, whatever, it's 20 miles, 25 miles, I've got to dead mile it all the way back to the airport. You know what I mean? So that's generally why I don't mess with the airport, especially for pickups. If I'm dropping somebody off, totally different story. I don't mind doing that. A lot of times I'll be down in St. Pete doing rides, and then I'll be wanting to essentially go back home. You could just easily take an airport ride, and I live 5 minutes from the airport. So yeah, I think Lyft is pretty pissed at me for getting that first ride and then declining that one all the way down to St. Petersburg. Let's take a look here. I'm actually surprised there isn't much of a surge going on just yet, but this whole area you're going to see, depending on how long this video goes, this whole area down in St. Pete is going to start flaring up with $3, $4, $5 surge. You can see here on the map down in Port Tampa, $3. This is the Prescott Street. There's a little restaurant down there. A lot of people tend to get plastered and Lyft or Uber back home. Perfectly acceptable. And we're just waiting here. What is this? $9 Lyft, 13 minutes away. That's going like 10 miles all the way to downtown. I could probably take that. I think it would count towards my streak, but I'm not looking to go back down here towards Tampa to the east. I'm trying to stay to this end of the peninsula. All right, $9.37 going all the way east. That makes no sense. They want me to go all the way west to pick somebody up to then go all the way east. You know, I just don't get it. I'm waiting for them to take the streak away, but it doesn't look like they want to. They probably want me to stay online here. But, I mean, you can't tell me that there isn't somebody closer. You know what I mean? This is a highly concentrated area. Don't tell me there isn't somebody over here that can easily pick them up and then, of course, take them out this way. They probably don't want that person, whoever's out here, to pick up a ride in the streak zone. I don't know what their algorithm is looking for. All right, so it looks like with that last refusal by me, they've gone ahead and locked the streak. Let's see if we can go ahead and get back into the streak zone. Still got another half hour here. What is that? 10, maybe 13 miles going for about $10. No, thank you. So what I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just head right back down Swan. It's less than a mile. I'm going to get myself back into the streak zone over here and see if we can essentially restart this streak here. But ultimately, I'm not going to go and backtrack myself. The $15 is great. It's definitely worth the attempt. But it's just not something I'm going to get myself involved with right now, especially during rush hour. Put myself 30, 40 minutes away from home. It's not worth it. All right, $4.19. I'm going to go ahead and take this because it's going to essentially put me back into the streak zone if it gives it to me. Let's see if it does. Okay, perfect.
Take a slight right,
so this
then
is
turn right.
More than $1 a mile, just barely, but it's going essentially where I was going to go anyway.
Turn
so
right.
we're going to go ahead and pick this person up.
In half a mile,
and then
take a slight
them
right
down
on
to
West
their
Kennedy
destination.
Boulevard.
You can see about 2 miles away, and then it's another mile after pickup. So we'll be back when we drop them off. It's 5:35 p.m., so still got 25 minutes left. The traffic is pretty bad, but it's not completely unbearable, at least in this part of town. That ride that I did ultimately decline to ended my streak there was going to be taking me onto the interstate. The interstate is completely backed up right now, so forget about it. Even if I were to take that ride, I'm putting myself in East Tampa at 6 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? So it's just going to keep further moving me out east, further moving me north, the complete opposite way that we want to go here for today.
Turn right on UT University Drive.
All right, we just dropped off Abby. I'm here at the UT campus, and it's an absolute shit show over here. I mean, she was a great passenger. I mean, just made the ride as good as it could possibly be. The good news is I did get back into the streak zone, and this essentially is saying that it's going to be my second of the 3 of the streak here. I'm going to the Tampa Convention Center. So we're going to see how this plays out. The last 2 times, and I can distinctly remember the last 2 times I've tried to go to, sorry, people just walking in the middle of the street looking down at their phone. They're not paying attention to the cars. The last 2 times that I've gone to the convention center, I've had to cancel rides because there's really not an adequate place to pick people up. Sometimes there's like a tour bus parked there or something like that. So it just makes things very difficult to kind of navigate down there. So we'll see. I'm going to be quick to cancel this ride if this person is not exactly where they need to be, but let's hope for the best. So yeah, we're on our way here to the Tampa Convention Center. You can see where I got to go. It's not far, but the traffic is just horrible, and it's to be expected. I mean, this is, not to go on a big rant here, but this is why, you know, these streak bonuses are offered when they are, you know, because they know that most people don't want to drive during this time, or the ones that are driving, they're not turning over their passengers quick enough. So, you know, you're kind of getting yourself stuck in this. I'm cool doing it because I'm already out, you know what I mean? But if you're somebody who is kind of waiting around to go out to achieve the streak bonus, you're likely going to be let down. The apps, the algorithms, especially here lately, have just gone... I don't know, and you got to give credit to their developers. You got to give credit to whoever's in charge of this algorithm, because they are doing everything they can to prevent people from making money. These streak bonuses used to be fairly easy. I remember you used to just sign on, used to get a few rides in the area, used to get the bonus. Sometimes you double up, triple up. Now they normally feed you some shit rides to begin with. You might get one off the bat that's decent. Then you're usually trying to fight with the wait and saves, or like you saw what happened to me, they start feeding rides to every which end of the map, to the point where you don't take it. Thankfully, and then, you know, ultimately locks you out of the bonus. Thankfully, I was able to, and I stayed within close proximity to the zone, and I was able to kind of get things, rekindled here, if you will. So we'll see here, 3 minutes to the arrival, and then they're not going very far after I pick them up, and we'll hope for that third ride. Just to show you where I'm at right now. All right, just dropped Robert and his dad off. There was some sort of convention at the convention center, wouldn't you know? So there was, a lot of traffic there, but they were cool. I've had all good passengers here today. I mean, there's been a lot of traffic, but, having a good passenger really makes all the difference in the world. If you've got somebody that's screaming and yelling at someone else on their cell phone, or kicking your seat, or just being belligerent, it makes it that much worse. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a crapshoot, and it ties into the rider rating as well. I'm going to leave everybody 5 stars here. So now I'm in Ybor City, and I'm downtown, exactly where I did want to go to begin with. So we're going to try to make our way west here, and get ourselves kind of back in this area here. Now that it's close to 6:30, the traffic should be dying down. Let's go ahead and kick on Uber just to kind of see what they're offering. Earlier I had it running and I wasn't getting a single request. So Uber is just... earlier when I first logged in, right around 5 o'clock, you saw the surge. I did get a couple decent pings, but they've definitely changed something here. And I can't put my finger on it. But even just talking to those riders, they say they don't use Uber anymore because when they were, based on what they said, I can't verify this, but based on what they said, when they request a ride, it'll give them an estimate. It'll say, your driver is 3 miles away or 3 minutes away. And then it'll automatically switch, they'll say, and then it'll say they're 17 minutes away. They said that it's just really inconsistent. They said, at least with Lyft, if it says 10 minutes, generally speaking, it's pretty reliable. So that's just from a rider's perspective. So again, we're over here. You can see here, I've done 2 out of the 3 rides in a row. So we just need one more ride. Doesn't matter where it's going. But if I do reject it, then yeah, they're going to go ahead and lock me out like they did the first time. So, like I said, we're going to make my way back west, back home. Hopefully we get a decent ride within the area, and we'll take it. We'll make that extra $15. If not, I'm totally cool going home. All right, we're going to go ahead and take this one. It's only like $3, but it's going less than 3 miles, and it's the 3rd ride in the streak. So let's go ahead and take that.
In 500 feet, at the roundabout,
we're over here.
use the left lane to take the second exit on West
Tampa
Palm
natives,
Avenue.
we're right by Armature Works here on Palm Avenue at the roundabout here, just north of UT. So we're going to go ahead and pick this person up on West Francis Avenue. And as long as everything goes well and they don't cancel or anything like that, sometimes you get that. Now, if the rider does cancel, it doesn't cancel your streak, so I'd essentially have to wait for another ride. But this is a pretty good ride. This is right in the immediate area, and I should be able to knock this one out fairly quickly. So we'll be back when we wrap this one up. All right, we're waiting here for Isaiah, 5.0 rating. And you can see we're picking him up and taking him right here downtown. So It's a pretty easy ride. 6:34 traffic has, subsided quite a bit here. I'm trying to, play it slow. The slower I go, the less traffic there'll be when I get to the destination. So when we wrap this one up, we should get the earnings and, of course, that $15 promo. And then we'll probably be good for the night. I've been out all day. Currently, I've only put like 14 miles on my car. So I'm averaging with the bonus, over $2 a mile. So that's not bad. Here he is. All right, just dropped off Isaiah here at work, here downtown once again. And you can see I went ahead and I got that streak bonus, thankfully. So you see there the 3 rides. That first one I had received. Oh, someone left me a $5 tip also. That was the son and the father I picked up from the convention center. So the first ride there, this one here, these were all pretty short rides. This was the one I took the girl to her job. That was with a surge attached to it. Then I had, let's see, this one here. I forget which one that was. Oh, yeah, that was the girl I think that was going to UT. Now, that was a really tough ride, not because of the passenger, but just because of all the traffic there in and around UT. This was the one that I picked up at the convention center, $5 tip. And then this one here, this was the one that I just took Isaiah here going to work downtown. And that was enough to get the streak bonus. So you see there, even with traffic, even with, kind of everything that comes along with, rush hour, in under 2 hours, I was still able to make $40. I only put like 16 miles on my car. So overall, not a bad day. So what we'll do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to leave the apps on just so we can kind of see the different rides here that are being offered. But I'm probably not going to take any. I mean, I could probably take this one. That's going right over to International Mall. So I'll go ahead and take this one. This will be my last ride.
Left.
Just dropped Micah off here at the International Mall, and I am basically rock throwing distance from where I live. So that was basically my gas money to get back home. I was going to potentially dead mile it back, but that ended up working out quite well. Online time, 2 hours and 3 minutes. You saw there kind of the breakdown of the different trips. I essentially got my initial streak locked down, but I was able to get back into the bonus zone all within the hour and made $45. So, I mean, can't complain. Didn't really put too many miles on my car, and I didn't have to dead mile it back home. So, once again, if you enjoy this content, be sure to hit the like button. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions. I will talk to everybody next time.